Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to another Shamshir Sound video. My name is Ali Nadem. In today's episode, we're going to talk about 10 tips that you can use to crush songwriting, to really get past any songwriting issues. If you guys are struggling to finish a song, whatever it might be, some of these tips cross over with writer's block as well, so I hope you guys are going to love these tips. Now, this was a suggestion from my brother, Ali. Thank you for the suggestion, bro. And if you guys have any suggestions or any requests, feel free to drop them in the comments section. And before we jump into it, guys, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe because we got some more juicy tips and juicy videos lined up. So tip number one is start with a remix. It'll inspire you with an existing structure, key, and could lead to a finished remix or original track. So many times when I'm lacking inspiration, this happened when I remixed 50 Cent Window Shopper, Indie Club, a lot of different stuff. Actually, no, not Indie Club, Candy Shop. So a lot of times when I'm lacking inspiration, I'll throw in an original track or a cappella, like vocal stems from a track. And then when you work with something, you're already working with an existing structure. It already has everything. So you can kind of get an idea. You can get inspired. You can remix, do kind of your own spin on the track, come up with your own drop, take elements of the vocals, whatever you want to do. Or you could just take that and it could manifest into an original song. Who knows? When I was working on Hardcore Motherfucker, that track actually was a remix and started into another remix. And then I scrapped the remix ideas. I kept some of the good stuff and then turned it into an original track. So a lot of times you never know. These accidents, you kind of keep trying these accidents and you end up with some really cool idea. So something to think about. If you ever are lacking inspiration, throw in an original song. It doesn't even have to be vocal stems or remix stems. It could just be the normal track. Tip number two is, something that Data Life stresses as well is don't hoard VSTs. Get good at a handful of them. You want to make sure you go home with this hard because when you start having tons of instruments, I think it's more problematic for instruments and like sounds. You end up sometimes teeter-tottering too much and not deciding what the sound should be before moving on to giving structure to the track. So a lot of times this will prevent people from moving on, giving some structure to the track, and they're just caught up on the sounds and choosing different synths, different patches, different patch bank, or they don't want to use this one synth, they go to something else. I say just get good at a handful, get good at like 2 to 3 to 5 of them, different styles. Don't bombard yourself, because in the past I would bombard myself, and this didn't help with me proceeding to finish the structure of the song. And also when you work in that sandbox, that limited environment, it kind of sometimes forces creativity because you are working with such strong limitations sometimes. So tip number 3 is start with the drop first. It will allow you to put the most effort into it, making it the most powerful, then build your tracks around it. So this is what I do personally when it comes to structure. I like to focus the most on the drop, and this gives the most energy to the drop, and then I build around it. I build a break in front of it. I build, like a little build up and whatnot. And I usually do the intro and outro the very last when I'm doing my songwriting, my structure. So for you guys, if you want to focus on the break or whatever it is you guys are doing, if maybe you're doing like a vocal hook or something, just remember, make that drop the most powerful. And when you focus on the drop, you can finish the rest. I know songwriting can be like also, how do we write this lead? How do we write this melody? But I think songwriting and structure is important. They're kind of two different beasts, but they cross over a lot. Next tip is taking breaks from listening. If you guys are writing songs and you want to write a catchy hook, catchy lead, sometimes you just got to take a moment, take a break, or start a new project. So I wrote here, or starting a new project. So a lot of times, if you're writing a song and you don't have an inspiration, it's okay to move on and start a new project. I have many unfinished projects, and I'm going to talk about what you should do with those unfinished projects as well, which will help you guys finishing the song, writing melodies, writing catchy chords, bass line, leads, whatever it might be. It's just a matter of you got to keep trying it over and over. So the next tip is going to be when you guys open a project, make sure you have a goal. Stay focused. Is it going to be a sound design? Are you going to be focusing on mixing? Because too many times we get distracted. It's really difficult to stay focused on one specific thing that you're doing. A lot of times I get kind of carried over into like, okay, EQing this and doing this, and then going back to making a lead, whatever it is. But just go in with a general idea. Don't kind of segue, teeter-totter too much between the different ideas. Remember that you want to kind of focus on a goal, or like these certain tasks. You know, does something need more elements? Does something need more effects? Am I focusing on sound design here? Am I just doing like whatever, just kind of rolling with it? So tip 6 is going to be to focus on your most passionate genres. When you guys are writing tracks and maybe you're struggling to come up with something catchy, or come up with a catchy melody, bass line, you know, the track just doesn't have the vibe that you want, make sure you guys are focusing on the genres that you're the most passionate about. So for me, that's going to be like big room, electro house, even trap music. You know, for listening, we can enjoy a lot of different styles, but I feel like for us to be the best, remember, you can't be like a master of 1,000 things. You can only spend so much time at a specific thing, so you can't really be the master of like every genre known to man. You got to be able to spend and allocate some of that time to the ones you are the most passionate about. So make sure you guys find what that is. Make sure you guys know, you know, what genres that you're caring about the most. It's okay to try new stuff, experiment new stuff, but generally speaking, you want to really focus and hone in your craft, master your craft on those genres that you care about the most. So for me, it's like that: big room, electro, house, even trance, you know, a lot of the different styles, but there's specific styles that I'm creating. Next one is going to be about listening to new music. It will give you fresh inspiration. You could also try playing a video game or watching a film with great soundtracks. You know, many of the music that I make, if I'm struggling with writing a song, you know, a lot of times I think back to tracks that I listen to, tracks that inspire me, tracks that give me energy, motivation. Those will really sometimes give you a point to kind of see a perspective for a song, or a perspective in terms of a mood, setting the mood. Next up, saving your presets. So make sure you save your presets, your samples. These are your sounds and are unique to you. They will also come handy in speeding up workflow and encouraging finishing your song. So even if you guys have unfinished projects, make sure you kind of save all that stuff. Forward that to the new project, because it might come in clutch where you're like, oh, wow, this percussive loop sounds excellent. Or, you know, you take a vocal and you reuse it in a track. I've had songs where I made like stupid parody recordings, you know, just trolling on the microphone, but then took some of those elements and incorporated them into a serious track, or, you know, an actual song. So always keep those, and maybe keep them in a private, you know, folder, make a custom folder, you know, DJ whatever samples, or my private sample pack, something. So definitely keep your stuff. Next up is don't be overly hard on yourself. If a track is okay quality, don't be ashamed to post it online. This is also part of songwriting. Maybe we're taking it too hard on ourselves. Maybe we're not being like, okay, you know what? It's a solid track. It's okay. Let me release it. A lot of times we're too hard on ourselves. We expect 1,000% quality, but we're not going to hit that every time. It's okay to be accepting of a track that's not 150%, and just post it online, share it with people, because otherwise it's just going to take up space on your hard drive. You know, would you want people to hear it, or just take up space on your hard drive? So, you know, always make a conscious decision, that logical decision of like, hey, it's better off just doing this, you know, just posting it online, sharing it. And that last tip is going to be staying organized. Make sure you guys name your project as soon as you can. It doesn't even have to be like a proper name. You could call it like just something that has something relative to the mood. You know, if you're working on something that's like a banger big room track, call it like festival big room track or something. Think of words, think of stuff, because they're all powerful. The visuals, the words, everything that you associate to your project are important. They give meaning to each other. So if it's like a hard-hitting Melbourne track, then call it Melbourne bounce track, whatever. And then as it evolves, then you can kind of change the name and evolve the name of the projects to better reflect what you're working on. Wrote here that it's okay to have unfinished projects, but ensure to save your samples and patches for later use, later inspiration. These are really important things. So I'm just going to double check here, make sure we went over all the tips. So that's a wrap for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, remember to smash the like button. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.